workers, police personnel in the fight against corona, when they visit your home for testing, please do cooperate with them. Do not fight with them and do not treat them otherwise. Be humble to them. And it is necessary for us to work together in order to rectify. See, rapid testing is one sort of a strategy through which corona can be identified. Once quarantine, medical treatment, these are the two necessary things in the first place to make sure that corona is defeated within the human body, and also it is made sure that it is not spread to others. These are the things which are supposed to be followed by everyone. This severity has affected almost every nation in the world, starting from China to US, including India. India is bracing itself tight since past 25-26 days. On March 23rd, nation was locked down for 21 days. Again, for 19 days it was extended. Most of the citizens are being responsible, staying home, even though the situation is panicful, yet they are cooperating to the maximum extent because they understand their duty. They understand their responsibility, but still there are some few stray instances which disturb, which provide a roadblock to the fight against corona. Which provide a roadblock against the fight against corona. This is seriously a threatening factor. What we have seen in Delhi, attack on AIMS doctors and even otherwise, then in Moradabad, then in Indore, then in Maharashtra, now in Bengaluru. Yesterday, and yesterday means 20th of April, when BBMP, that's a corporation, Bengaluru, Brihat Bengaluru Metropolitan Corporation members, excuse me, BBMP officials, health workers and police personnel goes to a area, a ward in Bengaluru, that is Padarayanapura, where already one person is dead because of corona. Let me repeat, one person is dead. You can understand the severity. Then 18 were supposed to be positive. 18 were proven positive. Many were not showing the symptoms. That does not mean that there could be a chances of asymptomatic mutation, asymptomatic spread. It was necessary for the authority to act in right and positive manner. Therefore, they did. They wanted nearly 50 to 100 of people to shift somewhere to the secure place and to make sure for next 15 days or so they will be kept in quarantine, so that whole state, whole nation can be not so immune from the spread because of these people. See, it is that there are studies that for a common person who has infected with the virus, just by his regular interaction he can spread up to 400 people in normal times. But if in closed colonies, closed agglomerations, then the possibility of spreading the high number of people is very high. These are the possibilities we know. Administration has acted in most positive, most proactive way. The responsibility of the citizens was to respond to them positively. Those health workers, those Asha Karyakartas, those BBMP officials, those police personnel who are not bothering of their life. They have their children in their home. They have some elder persons in their home. Yet they are sacrificing it. Ground staff being at the helm, being on the roads to make sure that corona is not spread, and also to protect every individual who is infected knowingly or unknowingly because of COVID. If this is the case, the responsibility of citizens will be much higher, much higher. Okay, forget the higherness quantity or higherness potential. Even if a common citizen has to be responsible in the normal times or during this dire times, he had to cooperate with the administrations. he had to cooperate with every individual has to cooperate with the system. You cannot take on the system. You cannot fight against the system. It's a direct against on government of India. It is direct against on government of the state. How can you do so? Unless there is some sort of threat, they are coming some unlawful activity. They are not coming for unlawful activity. They are following the standard operating procedure. The idea should have been people of those 50, 60 or hundreds of people, like a mob, they collaborated, they pre-planned, they shut down all the street lights. They started throwing some press on the police personnel, on Asha members. They started destroying some public properties. If they had not run, those public officials had not run, there would have been a mass lynching, mob lynching. What are we speaking in 21st century? That some people will crowd and they decide to take on some system for their own whims and fancies, and they attack on the system for no reason. For the simple reason that they came to test us. So testing is the valid thing, basic necessity, basic prerequisite to fight against corona. This is how Kerala is successful, maintaining the close numbers, reducing the numbers, reducing the peak. Even in Kerala, there are many your own community members, they do not do like this. Even other nations, I am not speaking of Bhilwara. They are also humans, they are also Indians, they also face the similar challenges one may face right now. Yet they are cooperating with the system. They are also who are not doing such kind of unlawful activity. Yet in Padarayanapura, Shivajinagara area, Bengaluru 26, hundreds of mob comes out on road like a rage. They attack police personnel, they attack health workers, they attack Asha members. They set the worst and the bad example for the future, not just in the present times. They have created some sort of a terrorist incitement, some sort of terrorist environment, some sort of biohazard. Yes, they are speaking of, we are speaking of herd immunity, but that is not practical. That is just a theoretical concept. If you are going with the herd immunity, you should be ready to lose hundreds and thousands of healthy persons who may get infected, may not be able to fight corona. There are possible cases that with herd immunity, the spread can be reduced, but that is just a theoretical concept. You need to sacrifice hundreds and thousands of people in that case. We know all these developments. We also know from the dead virus can spread. That is why they are saying burn, do not bury. We know what is happening. We know asymptomatic is the biggest second level of rise, which is going in Japan, South Korea and East Asian nations. That means without symptoms also there is a possibility of spread of coronavirus. This is a common understanding every individual must know. Prime Minister is begging you, say please don't do like this. We are extending the lockdown for 21 days. There will be a huge losses. There will be a problem. We are going to give some economic packages. Everything government of India is doing. Chief Minister, when lockdown was announced in the state, Honorable B.S. Yediyurappa calls those minority, representatives, minority MLAs to his home. He requests them that make sure they cooperate with us. Ask those Tablighi agents members who had attended the congregation between March 13 to 16 in Delhi, ask them to come forward and make sure that they are going to be tested, so that test results will give us the clear idea and spread can be contained, even their lives can be contained. That was the basic idea. Chief Minister went a step ahead for this purpose. No Chief Minister, I think, has done this. At the same time, it is not, the testing is not conducted against any particular community, any particular religion. It is common for all. It's same for all. There was no need for the CM to come a step ahead to extend his, humbleness or to request them. Yet he did. At least those leaders who are now speaking of responsibility, rights and other aspects, they should have acted vehemently And they should have started educating those community members. They should have started communicating them, saying that please do what you do. You please cooperate with those personals who come out to your doorsteps. If you are going for quarantine, do not feel threatened. You are going to be safe for next 15 days. Not just safe, you will be healthy. You will come out healthy. That is what the positive message you were expected to send. But those leaders were busy politicizing the issue, busy becoming the messiahs of those community. They wanted them to be consulted before any further developments. That is what some of the media have reported, that this MLA of Padarayanapura, or that Shivajinagara MLA, I don't want to name him, but fact of the matter, he wanted officials to be consulted him. Powder and other aspects attacking on the officials, attacking on state government agencies. They were demanding that we will cooperate only if MLA comes. What sort of conditions are this? Where are we? What sort of message we are trying to give for the future? Why do you need MLA while they are conducting the test? It is not that MLA will be a catalyst or MLA will be a litmus test. This is wrong thing to do. I don't know who is behind this, which are the political or parties or some agenda, some international conspiracies going on against India. What is their core agenda? We don't know. Inquiry must be held. For now, these mobs have taken law into their hands, who do not have a minimum bare respect for the law, minimum bare respect for the fight against corona. They are not just playful of their lives, they are also playful of whole state, whole nation. Ignorant is one thing, intentful is another thing. IPC 269-270. Section National Security Act. If cause needed, you please invoke Unlawful Activities Act, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, which was amended recently, and most importantly, that government has to take an iron-handed decision, iron-handed execution of, to establish law and order and peace, so that it will be a message, strong message, that it is not going to be repeated. See, 2 to 3 weeks ago, in Hegde Nagar, some Asha came out and made a video saying that we were threatened, we were attacked. There itself, if the administration and government had taken a stern action against them, there would have been a message. Possibility is that there would have been no second case happening in Padarayanapura. But somewhere something went wrong. Sensitization of the issue and gravity of the issue. Government was, or the society was sandwiched in between this. Social evils took the advantage of this situation and acted at the behest of destroying the sanctity of peace, destroying the fight against corona. This is not just unlawful, it is inhuman in its intent and will. Therefore, every individual who was responsible, who was behind this, who was in front of the scene, everybody must be punished with the harsh possible laws, with the harsh possible punishments. No leader should come with some sort of empathy, some vote bank, saying that, oh, some mistake has happened. If mistakes are happening again and again, they are not called mistake, they are called as pre-planned and some sort of, collaborated, cumulative trend. They are not just mistakes. Mistakes happens once or twice. If they continue again and again, that is some sort of conspiracy. That is some sort of trend. Some sort of, global or national level or state level. Some sort of nexus and some sort of agenda which is at the work. Suddenly, 50-60 members coming out during the lockdown, the area now is sealed down. In past 21 days, you are listening to the news, you are listening to the Prime Minister, you are listening to the Chief Minister, you are listening to the media, you are using internet. At least once in a day, every individual over here, whether he is educated or uneducated, in his mouth, corona is coming. I am speaking grossly. That means they are aware of the fact how people are dying. You have WhatsApp, you have other social media, you are seeing the messages how in China people died, How in other parts of the world people are dying? How in India people are dying? How can you so be irresponsible? How can you be so ignorant? And how can you go to such a stoop to such a level with malign intent of spreading this corona? This is unacceptable. This has to be dealt with iron hand. See, we have seen what is happening in Turkey. We have seen how Iran is fighting, what Pakistan is doing, what Kerala is doing, what Bhilwara is doing. Everybody is able to do. Everywhere the community members are present. Everybody is doing rapid testing, even in Delhi or even otherwise. People who are found of positive symptoms, they are quarantined. They have taken into hospital. They have kept safe. They have come out on a fight. You are seeing all this, and now you don't tell me that it is our not knowing of law, not knowing of information, not having the knowledge. At least while seeing your faces on TV today, while police are catching you, arresting you, we don't see any sort of innocence on the faces. That means there has been a greater conspiracy. That means nexus. It started with Delhi, it went to Muradabad, or it went where else it is going to be spread. If governments do not take a right call, take iron hand decision, iron hand execution of that decision, punish the guilties, give them lesson and message to the world, lesson and message to the future, also the present times. So today, India is embraced by the world as some sort of Sanjeevani nation, as some sort of a nation which is providing HCQ, paracetamol and other medicines. You see what happened in Switzerland? They are actually showing respect by some sort of hoisting some sort of pictorial tricolor on their biggest mountain, highest mountain of the Switzerland. If this is happening, every country is respecting us, but we as a countryman, somewhere we are failing the system, we are trying to fail the nation, we are trying to fail, disgruntle the fight against this corona. What we are doing? Only few I am speaking about, not everyone. It does not mean that the whole community should be seen with the yellow prison, no. But the community guys who try to shed those guilty, that also should be considered wrong. If you try to shed them for no reason, just because he belongs to your caste, he belongs to your religion, he belongs on the humanity grounds, where there is no humanity, there is no place for human rights. Human values comes only for the humans. If you start behaving inhumanly, what we have thought, what we have realized, what we have come across in past 2000, 3000 years, if we fail to enshrine our civilizational values, cultural ethos, human endeavors, what were we? For what purpose we are living on this land? What's the use of us? Corona is such a virus, such a disease through which you are not going to kill. Only you are not going to be killed. Through you, many will be killed. That means the responsibility on you, whether you like it or not, that is high. Responsibility of every individual, every community, every society, every state, every citizen is highest and paramount. Without understanding this, nobody can be disgraceful, nobody can be ignorant. Nobody gets the right. If it was some dictatorial nation, if some Islamic Republic nation, whether you would have ever dared to do such an act, whether it's republic, so that you can do anything and get escape because you have some vote bank politics to do, because you feel somewhere, you feel victimized. No, that is not going to work. That should not work. If new India are to be built, if new India is to be built very soon, post Corona, then there should not be place for such filthy emotions, useless political tools, agendas, which will no way help the humans to evolve, strive, go ahead, but to look backwards, go regressively. Hence, it's very important what happened in Padarayanapura very, very much disgraceful, very much a thing which no civility, no society should embrace it. Nobody should entertain them. Make sure government takes the proper action at the right time before it's too late. Do not give sympathies, do not give a hand to those emotions. It's necessary, it's time for us to be stern, hard against those guilty, not against communities. Communities should come forward and say that we and those people out there, we do not have any kind of links. If Tablighi, some people who actually in the beginning, they tried to hide from the testing. They tried to hide when CM and PM requested. All the community members must make sure that they must be noted for their own good and also for the good of greater good. Make sure they must be noted. They must be boycotted, nothing wrong. And make sure that they will be punished. Only then we will be able to put strong framework, strong building blocks for the new India which we are dreaming since years. This is a time India is getting the opportunity. We as Indians have larger responsibility. When we speak of rights, we must also understand the duties which are innate to us as citizens, as human beings, to follow during normal times and also during the times the most uncertain, the time when pandemic is acting heavily on us. No, in that no public service agents, public service guys are being attacked so severely, so badly. We have not seen. Turkey is a Muslim nation. Iran is Islamic Republic. We have not seen. They are also fighting the corona. They are also testing every individual member. We have not seen this in Bilwara. We have not seen this in Kerala. There are also Muslims in Kerala. What makes you think that this is against your faith, this is against your belief, this is against your what do you say, religion or something like that? Who told you? Now you don't come and tell me we were uneducated, so forgive us. No. If you are uneducated, you should have seeked the information, you should have seeked the knowledge from the experts, you should have asked your leaders, what's going on, what's the severity, explain to us. Do not use us. We are not mere weapons on whose shoulders you can shoot the political ambitions. This is what is happening in past 60-70 years. Read what Najib Jung has to say, former Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. Read that Sachar committee report. Read any committee report. Who are the real enemies? Do not blame on others. Do not say that there is some sort of phobia in the world. There is some sort of victimization in the world. No, don't give them that opportunity. When egalitarian and equality and equity are being talked, these hindrances should never come in between. If it is coming from your side, then you have to stop it. If it is coming from the other side, they will gradually stop it, no doubt. Don't give them that opportunity to target some community, someone. Don't give them that opportunity. If you behave properly, then nobody will be able to attack anyone. Akshay Kumar recently was saying that while his release of this movie, what is his name, based on that judiciary, this thing, Nanavati case, he was saying that in past 50 years there is no case against Parsi, no complaint against criminal record against Parsi. He says that challenge me, he challenges, call anyone, any Parsi community member to be a criminal, he challenges. If you don't have that record, we cannot say anybody a criminal. I do not want to bring any of the communities and other aspects which is controversial and insensitive to, which is unnecessary for the, my sincere request and every, what do you say, call for now. The idea is very simple, that say there is nothing right in traumatizing some community members or something. No, the guilty has no religion, and they must be taken with iron hand. And make sure when we say this, please keep it in mind that some people should not come to protect them just because they belong to their community. This will be a double standards once again. If you are protecting them, you should be ready to accept that. Or you boycott them directly, saying that they have acted against the state. They do not belong to our society. They do not belong to our community. Because we never preach them that. That is how we should function as a society of 21st century, as the nation of 21st century. Only then we have high chances of sustaining all the threats which are going to come in near future. That is how we have to evolve ourselves. Once again, what happened in Padarayanapura is a shame, disgrace, disguise. It's unacceptable, inhuman. Whatever the terms you want to add, please add it. That is how we are very much depressed as Bengalurians, as Kannadigas, as Indians. We never want anyone to do like this and set a bad example for the world, for the nation, to look at us like this. Spitting was one instance. What happened in Delhi, Indore, Muradabad was another instance. This is new law. This is stooping to new law. We have to stop this. Government has to stop this. You have NSA, invoke it. You have Unlawful Prevention Act, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, you invoke it. NDMA, invoke it, Section 3. IPC 269-270, invoke it. Make sure that conspiracy is unearthed. If there is a larger conspiracy, there are persons behind this. No matter what, people of state will be with you. Government must take a stern action, stern decision. A lesson for future. Remember, whenever there is a change, whenever there is a new sort of pandemic kind of thing, when HIV came in 1984 and in 1985, globally, people started saying that while having sex or some sort of intercourse, you must use some sort of protection, tools or something like that. In Uganda, condom was, HIV was a greater threat, therefore administrations insisted to use condoms, but Ugandan Catholic churches and institutions started saying that this is against rationality, this is against a natural flow, this is against a natural law of creating new life. Therefore, this should not be acceptable. Even if HIV comes, nothing wrong, it's God's call. That is what they said. Today, many in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, when we say that corona can spread, not just you, it can kill not just you, but also to others. They say nothing wrong, it's God's call. If I'm dying somewhere praying Him, that will be a kind of a thing which I may attain the heaven. What sort of misinformation, what sort of filthy belief system that has to be changed with proper information, behavioral, cultural, attitudinal change. Reform can be brought in, changes in the society can be brought in, changes among the members of the community can be brought in. Those community members, every community member, I'm not just speaking of particular community, every community members, leaders, everybody must involve themselves in educating, make sure that the call is very right and very bright, that to cooperate with the government. Whatever government is taking that action, we must be at the forefront to cooperate with it. We must be at the forefront to follow it. Whatever your political agendas, political lineations, that doesn't matter when time is very grave. You can do the politics post-corona. You can do the politics during elections. That is your discretion. Nobody is here to stop you. But when during the tough times, when tough calls are to be taken, you cannot be acting as hindrances. When they are coming for testing, it is necessary. Rapid testing is the key to defeat the spread of corona from your region. We don't know what is going to happen in winter when second wave of possible corona may spread. We don't know for next 2 years. WHO and others are saying possibly 2 years of social distancing is necessary. Make sure that your behavioral changes will begin. From namaste to washing the hands to all sorts of wearing masks to every other activities must be followed. From dead bodies to fecus, the virus may spread. AC. If you are sitting in AC room, just switch off the AC while I am doing like this right now. Otherwise, from AC also there is possibility of spreading of virus. Some people initially believed that with warm temperature, virus will go away. Recently, there was a study conducted by a French laboratory scientist, by French scientists, saying that he boiled coronavirus for an hour with the temperature of 60 degrees Celsius. Even then, Corona was able to survive, and it was shown the strains of replication. That means even if the vaccine is found in 1 or 2 years, there is no guarantee that we are going to win this war. This is a long-standing war. It is going to be waged longly. It is going to be taken a long duration, maybe 1 year, 2 years. We don't know how much it takes. The fact of the matter, today what has happened in Padarayanapura is wrong. What had happened in few weeks ago in Hegde Nagar, that is also is wrong. Hence it's time for us to act collectively, cooperate with the government's lockdown decisions. 1 day lockdown means we are losing about 1 lakh crore of economy. 200 lakh crore economy is our GDP strength. If we are going to lose this, how many people are going to lose their jobs, their livelihood, etc., etc. Government has a greater responsibility. It is playing its part. Administrations at the ground level are doing their work. Servicemen out there are doing service kind of work. Many of the organizations also on the ground helping millions of people, thousands of people. At this time, there should not be any scope for ignorance. There should not be any scope for mischief. That mischief should be treated as a huge crime against humanity. It's time that governments are made to act. It is also a sensitive matter that law and order is established and peace is made. At the same time, it is also a very important factor that the corona is defeated collectively, so that humanity, we as a nation, we as a state, can feel free and restore the past glory. Only the new India can be built. Only then our future can be revived. Otherwise, everybody will be collapsed. Everybody day, which is unwarranted, unnecessary. Please do think for yourself. It is a very necessary thing to do. As a national, it is important to follow all the guidelines. It is also a responsibility. It's a duty of every individual citizens to follow. Any kind of act against any kind of decision, any mobs marching or lynching or attacking the government agencies must be considered on par with terrorist activity, because those agencies, those health workers are not coming for any unlawful activities. They are coming for, they have their own lives to do, carry on, but still they sacrifice all those things just to make sure that fight against corona is defeated, spread is curtailed, and every individual is healthy. That is their, if they are coming for testing, that's a rapid testing, that is a basic necessity to fight against corona. Once, if you are found positive, if there is a possibility of some cases around you and you have some sort of interaction, please do come voluntarily. They are not going to put you behind bars. Such sort of arguments, please just dump it, at least for next 22 months or so, early as possible. Then we can do all those political battles or whatever you want to do, but lawfully, of course, maintaining the law, peace, law and order. You can go to the moon only if you defeat this corona this time. Therefore, understanding this grave situation, understanding all our responsibility, we must act collectively, we must act more responsibly. Only then we can laugh on our faces at the end of the day. Dhanyavad. Hope you guys follow what I am trying to say, and do spread this message. Positivity is the need of the time, not depression, not negativity, not such kind of instances which is inhuman, illegal, and every sort lead. We must be the torch bearers of change for the future, for the humanity, and the onus is on every Indians, 130 crore Indians, have to be more responsible in this fight. If the world can be more responsible, other nations can be more responsible, why can't we? We Indians, we show the path of wisdom to the world. Now, be the change to change. That's how it should work. Please think for yourself and do not anybody say the decision by the government should be a lesson and a message. to the whole of all those miscreants or mischiefs who want to create some sort of instability, or who want to attack some government agencies. It is most criminal act to do. It is most inhuman act to do. I am trying to say again and again, please do think about it, and also share this message with everyone out there. And dhanyavad. Thank you very much. Signing off, Shreyanka Esranade. Thank you. Let's fight COVID from India as soon as possible, and also from the world as soon as possible. Then let's try to establish the past pinnacle of India. Dhanyavad. Jai Hind.